Hi there everybody, I'm going to show you a project to do with leaves that requires doing some investigative work in your yard. I have included this sheet in the work plan that we sent your parents. And you don't necessarily need this specific sheet, you can use any piece of paper, but it's nice to have the leaf shapes on here and you can follow these if you're not quite sure or not quite familiar with what the leaf shapes are. There's also some other leaf shape charts that I'm including that look like this. There's some other ones that have even more because the first sheet that I showed you, it doesn't have all the leaf shapes. There's actually lots and lots of leaf shapes. And so if you want to do more than just the ones on this sheet, or you want to investigate different types, then you might want to look on those sheets and find some more in your yard. I'm going to take you along with me and we're going to look for some different leaf shapes. We're going to try to get a variety. So let's go. First of all, before you start picking any leaves, check with your parents and make sure that the leaves are, that they're not off limits. They might be plants that your parents don't want you to be picking. So here we've got some leaves that look like this. So I'm just going to take one off. I'm going to use my fingernail at the very base of the leaf where it's connected to the stalk and pull it off like that. We're going to be trying to find some smaller leaves so that we can fit them onto the page. So this one is really cool, but it's going to be way too big. Let's see if we can find any others with some different shapes. This one actually looks very similar to the one I just picked. Now, after you do this work and you decide you want to do more, you want to do some more investigating, you could look at the margins of the leaf. That's the edge, and you could determine if some of them are smooth or some of them are serrated. You can look that up and find out the different margins. Look at this one. That one looks very different from the first one that I picked. So we're gonna include that one in our collection. Let's take one of these. This is from a peony plant. And look, they're gonna be blooming here pretty soon. The ants really like this bush for some reason though. Let's try this one. Oh look. Hi Polly. Are you wanting to join us? Another kitty that wants to join us. Hi Phoebe. I wonder where Olive is. There's Olive. They're all looking out the window at me. They want to be a part of this. Oh, there's Polly. Polly, you want to come out? Polly's the only one that's allowed to come outside. Hey, here's some weeds. Some clover maybe. This looks very different from the other ones that I've chosen. So we'll take that. Let's see what else we have down here. Well, here's some volunteer cilantro that's coming up just in the middle of my yard. I've been finding this all over the place. I'm not gonna pick that though because I don't have the shape on the sheet, but that could be something you might wanna investigate on your own later. You know what? I think we might have this one on the sheet. This is dandelion. I'm gonna take that. Polly, do you see any? No, that one's the same. We already have that one. Help us find different leaf shapes, Polly. Okay, this is a violet, which I despise actually because they come up everywhere. They take over the yard. But I do think this is a leaf shape that's different from what we have. I'm going to take one of the little ones. And these are hollyhocks. I don't know if this shape is on our sheet. I don't think it is, but that's kind of similar to this violet, isn't it? I don't think we have this one on there either. This, I believe, is a baby maple tree. I'm gonna pull it because I don't want it growing in my landscaping. This is one that I have in one of the pots on my back porch. It does look a little bit different than the others. I'm gonna take one. See if that one matches something that's on the sheet. This is also a plant that I detest. It's bindweed. It binds itself to anything that it comes across, including other plants, and it will kill them. And it's really, really hard to get rid of. Here's my strawberry patch. Look, you've got some strawberries that are starting to grow. The flower. See if I can find some actual strawberries. Oh, look, right there. They're starting to come. Okay, so then in this patch, I'm always having to pull poison ivy, and I want to show you what it looks like so that when you're doing your leaf hunt, you don't accidentally pull poison ivy. So this right here, right there, is poison ivy, and I'm not going to touch it because I don't want to get a rash with gloves on. I always use gloves to pull the poison ivy out of here. But there's 3 leaves, and the leaf on one side looks like this with a thumb, and the leaf on the other side looks like this with the thumb on the other side, and then the leaf in the middle has a thumb, has both of the thumbs, this thumb and this thumb. And it's always leaves of 3. The saying is leaves of 3, let them be. Leaves of 5, let them thrive. There's other vining plants that have leaves of 5, but they're really hard in my strawberry patch to spot because all of these strawberry plants have leaves of 3. I thought I'd gotten it all. I spent a while in here pulling a bunch of poison ivy, and apparently I missed some. It's hard to get all of it. Garden, don't pull any of those leaves without asking, because at this point your plants are probably still pretty young and they might need all the leaves they have. Here's my tomato plants, and then look at all these radishes I've got going down here. Got bush beans, chives are over there. Got some lettuce that are just starting to come up. My sage plant, I can't believe it, it came back from last year. It sat in this pot over the winter, frozen with leaves on it. I thought it would have died, and it looks amazing. And my thyme came back as well. We have a guard, Polly. Right, Polly? You keep a lookout. Girl just chilling with her arm up. Is this your spot, Olive? Are you enjoying the sunshine? Oh. Okay, so I've got my sheet, and I'm going to match up the leaves that I collected with the shapes that I have on the sheet. So remember, this isn't all the leaf shapes. And I'm gonna send in the weekly lesson plan email some other sheets that you might wanna look at, and you can make your own sheets if you would like. So for example, this one isn't on this sheet here. So you could get a blank piece of paper and you could trace this leaf through the blank piece of paper and make your own chart like this if you would like to. Okay, or you can make a little booklet. So here is the dandelion leaf that I collected, and that one looks a lot like the lyrate. So I'm gonna put it under, well, first of all, I'm gonna match them all up. I wanna see what I have. We've got this one. This one's pointy at the top, so it can't be this one or this one or this one. To me, it looks most like the lanceolate. could be ovate, but it just seems too long to me. So I'm gonna match it up with that one. I don't think it's oblonguolate because oblonguolate has a fuller top and lanceolate is fuller at the bottom. More rounded at the top up here. Let's see, how about this one? And the longer you let them sit, the more limp they get. So it's good to do them either while they're really fresh, right after you've picked them, or you could even put them in between the pages of a big book and let them dry out for a few days. And I actually think that's the best way to be able to do a leaf rubbing. But I have had these between pages for several hours today, and they're nice and flat now, but they're not very crisp anymore. We'll see how it goes. So this one is like a line. So I think that's the linear. This to me looks most like the spatulate, even though this is pointy and this one isn't. The rest of the shape to me looks the most like that. Or oblonguolate. Because that one has a pointy tip and that one has a pointy tip. So I guess let's go with that. What this one? I think that could go with ovate. These two are very similar, aren't they? This one does seem a little bit fuller at the bottom though. We've got this one. Now don't worry about the margins of the leaves, which is the outside edge. Don't worry about if it's jaggedy like this or smooth. That has more to do with types of margins, and we're just looking at the shape. So all of these are smooth on the outside, and even if it's jaggedy, it could still match up with whatever shape is on here. And I think it looks a lot like the deltoid. So I'm gonna put that here. And then we have a few that actually I don't think go on this page. They actually go with other shapes. So let's see if we can find them in the leaf shapes book. Let's look at this one. Let's look through here. Acicular, no. That one looks a lot like linear, but I think this is more of a needle than a leaf. Cordate, no. Elliptical, no. Hastate, that looks a lot like what's here. Let's read about it. Hastate is the name given to a triangular leaf with basal lobes spread out. Here's the basal lobes here. Spread out, resembling the shape of an arrowhead. That definitely looks like an arrowhead here. Okay, so we found that one. I could make another chart, but include that one on there, hastate. Let's see if we can find this one. Actually, I think it goes the other way. So it's important to remember, take note of where the stem was on the leaf. So the stem was actually coming out of the bottom right here. There are some types of leaves that are exactly the same shape, but then the stem comes out on this side and it gives it a completely different name. Okay, so let's look. So for example, this one, cordate. Cordate, it does look like a heart, like an upside down heart, and the stem is coming out where the top of the heart would be. But for this one, it looks like a heart and the stem comes out the bottom of the heart, the point. So then it's gotta be this one. Obcordate is the name given to a leaf shaped like a heart, but with the point of the heart at the base of the leaf. And an example is white clover, and I think that's exactly what this is. White clover. We could add that to a different chart. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just put these off to the side. I've put this piece of paper over a big Ziploc bag, it's important that you find something that could go between your paper and the table so that you're not, when you're doing your leaf rubbing, you're not accidentally scribbling on the table. You need crayons that you can take the paper off and use the flat side. You put the leaf under the paper where you want it to go, and I want mine to go near this shape, and you're gonna hold it with one hand, and you're gonna take the flat piece of the crayon and you're gonna press on it and rub until you get the leaf rubbing. Cool, huh? Let's try this one. This one's gotten folded up a little bit. Unfold it. Put it underneath. Oh, fold it up again. And very gently, very carefully do my leaf rubbing. You're always gonna get the most color from the middle vein. So you kind of have to work around it to get the rest of the leaf. And it's always good to start off lighter and then press harder if it's needed. Because if you press too hard, you can get leaf juices on there. And fortunately, mine didn't go all the way through, but if that does happen, then it can make the image not look so nice. Okay, we got our deltoid. Oh, let's change colors. Let's do this pretty teal. And I'm always trying to hold the leaf through the paper so that the leaf doesn't move around, because if the leaf ends up moving around while you're doing this, then it'll be hard to tell what the image is once you're finished. Okay, there's the deltoid. Let's change colors again. Let's do orange. Let's do our oblanceolate. Have my finger on the bottom of the leaf. I'm gonna start at the top. I'm gonna switch and put my finger at the top of the leaf and do the bottom. Do our linear. How about yellow this time? And our lanceolate. Let's do blue. Lanceolate. There we go. So then what I could do next is study this a little more and go back out to my yard and try to find the ones that I wasn't able to get the first time around. So there's 10 total. I was able to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I would need 1, 2, 3, 4 more. I was able to find quite a few of them on the first try. And then once I finished that, if I really wanted to, I could make my own with a blank piece of paper or a booklet. You might be interested in looking more into the leaf margins. Maybe you'd like to look into the veins of the leaf and palmate and pinnate and what the differences are between palmate and pinnate leaves. Maybe you would like to look at the Arbor Day Foundation website and see if you could classify a tree based on what the leaf looks like. So there's lots of things you could do, and I hope that you enjoy this lesson and make some really awesome things with it. Bye.